As we step into the new year, it is the perfect moment to focus on your finances. Did you know that nearly 1 in 5 Americans planning to retire this year? A lot of studies, though, show that over 40% of adults do not feel confident that they've saved enough for retirement. So whether you're starting fresh with financial goals or maybe you're preparing for your next chapter, there is so much to learn about making your money work for you. Certified financial planner and registered Social Security analyst Dwight Rich is here with his expert take on investing, retirement, and staying ahead of all of it. Great to see you.
Good to see you again.
So that's really daunting to think 1 in 5. And many people, I feel like the job market, every day there's news of layoffs. Every day there's news of downsizing where people may feel like, you know, I need to take stock of this, or maybe I need to go ahead and start getting in this in line sooner than I thought. What advice would you give them?
Well, I think that they need to take a real deep assessment of their situation and really consider all the factors, especially when it comes to retirement. For example, Social Security. You know, they just passed a week ago the Social Security Fairness Act, which is a huge change for Americans who worked for the government, who were, whether they're firefighters or they were teachers. And so they basically eliminated the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. So this is a huge impact to about 3 million Americans of those that are retiring.
And what action do you think that people should take regarding some of the big changes that are coming our way this year?
Well, they need to be aware of this. I'll give you an example on this particular change. So basically with the windfall elimination provision, the WEP and the GPO, it would take your Social Security and it would cut it by 1/3 to maybe the whole thing. So for instance, we had a client who was a teacher, and her Social Security was going to go from $27,000 to $7,000 because she had worked they're going to basically take 2/3 of her pension and subtract it from her Social Security. So now that they've eliminated that and they've repealed that, it was a bipartisan passing of the Fairness Act of Social Security. She's going to get basically, it could be...
Fair to who? What about that name?
Well,
Really?
it's actually going to help her. I mean, it's going to be maybe $500,000 extra in Social Security.
How about that? Yeah.
Huge.
Huge deal. And so what other predictions do you see looming in 2025 that you're hearing about legislatively could come down the pike, you know, whether it's with taxes or other things that you're like, hey, folks, flags going up, pay attention to this?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've obviously got a new administration coming in, was it next week?
Yeah,
and
Monday.
We're in the first year of a presidential cycle, and that's been, if you look historically, about a 6.5% average return for the stock market. It's the second weakest of the presidential election cycle periods. So after having 2 years where we're up over 20% in the S&P 500, if I had to have a prediction, I would say that it's likely we're not going to have a repeat of the last 2 years.
Right.
I'm
Which could be
optimistic.
good news for many people, because I feel like many people have been struggling and very concerned.
Sure. Yeah. No. And for sure. So, but I think that the volatility with the new administration is kind of like, we just had this huge snow, and I know a lot of folks went out there to try to shovel their driveways.
Yeah.
And like you're like me, I don't do a lot of manual labor.
Couldn't get through it.
But you get out there,
me.
right? You get out there, and you're going to have a lot of pain to get to that, that pristine driveway. And I think with the change that we're going to have in this new administration, there's going to be some initial, pain that we're going to go through, perhaps. Just like when Ronald Reagan took office in '81, we actually had a negative market for a 10% down market for the first year until they got to kind of the boom time in the '80s.
And you offer a free consult if people want to come in. I always feel like when there are moments of big volatility, is go and get some advice. Right. It's a great time to kind of say, this is what I have, this is what's going on, this is my situation. What do you think for the road ahead? And you're able to do that.
For sure. We do a complimentary consultation, which will include your Social Security optimization. We'll stress test your portfolio, see what kind of risk you're taking, what kind of income you're producing, and basically map out your retirement on one page. So that you can be better informed.
There you go. That way you're able to weather whatever comes this way this year and beyond. Great to see you. Great advice. Thank you so much. So
thank you.
If you want to reach out to Dwight for that retirement readiness review, go to the website that you see on your screen. You can give him a call at 502-398-6850 or go to richwealthmanagement.com.